So I was gonna sing this old school New Edition song called "Is This the End?" Do you know that song?
I do know the song. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't think that my register could go up that high as a young Ralph Tresvant. So people out there, look up "Is This the End" by New Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Put it over this video because that is our theme song for today. So
Yeah. You know, the song that came to mind when I thought about our final episode is "End of the Road" by Boyz II Men.
sure. Mm-hmm.
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 I can on a sway back and forth. Yeah.
Yep. I mean the rose petals can come down like at the actual Boyz II Men concert.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I've seen them do that. Mm-hmm.
I know you have. I know that story.
Yeah. Is it a melancholy song? But yeah.
It is, and are we melancholy? Is that our word for today?
Yeah. Wistful, maybe.
Okay, come on, thesaurus.com. I'm Angie Hambrick, the Associate Vice President of Diversity, Justice, and Sustainability, and the Director of the Center for Gender Equity.
I am Jen Smith. I am the Dean of Inclusive Excellence at PLU and an Associate Professor of Gender, Sexuality, and Race Studies.
Yep. So, as we've been, talking about the end, this is our last episode. Like, we're sunsetting.
We are. Yeah. It's all good things must come to an end. Mm-hmm. It's time for us to move on to other ventures.
It's true. B. Arthur on the Golden Girls wanted to end the series at season 5 because she wanted to end at a high note, but the producers talked her into doing 2 more seasons because she wanted to end high. Like, she didn't want, to jump the shark and all that stuff. So, we're going to end in a place where y'all still are actually tuning in and wanting to hear the shit that we talk about. So
that is true, right? We'll leave you wanting more because, we don't want to jump the shark. We don't want to, be dragging our poor, sad, intellectual minds around. Yeah.
But what you been doing the last week or so?
What I've been doing, I've been growing hair. Like, this is out of control. And allow me to pull this sucker down. It's like a pet. Like, it's huge. It's got anyway, I'm growing hair. And I kind of think I'm gonna let it grow out a little more, but I am of a certain age. And I am mindful of stereotypes of older women with long hair.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, they get all witchy. Like, people think they're witchy.
Well, you do have some goddess tendencies, so I see that.
I am not the one who is providing recommendations for incense to people like someone else I know on this call, or
Dragon's blood.
So, or who burns sage? You burn? Come on. So, anywho,
this is out the street.
So I'm growing hair, and my eyebrows are getting like curly hairs. Just a lot of hair happening right now. That's just what's on my mind. And what I'm doing when my hair is down in a Zoom call, I'm doing this thing where we'll touch it and I'll move it around. I need not to be doing that as a dean and as a woman of a certain age. Anyway, so I'm just aware of hair lately. That's what I'm doing.
You can't touch up your hair. I pull out my lock every now and then. So.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's something, I'm in a meeting talking about like equity considerations and I'm going, whoosh, swooping this hair around. Yeah. So anyway, I'm growing hair.
It looks healthy and thick.
Thank you. Yeah, it does. What you been doing?
I've been getting, mentally and physically prepared for the return of Sanko, who is my son. I go pick him up on Saturday from Milwaukee, and I'll be there for a couple days, and then we'll be back. But I've been eating ice cream, drinking wine, and laying in the bed until noon. So that is how I've been preparing my body on the weekends only, on the weekends. That is how I've been preparing myself for the return of a almost 3-year-old.
Wow. Yeah. Gosh, he's going to be 3 in September. It's coming up. Woo!
Yeah. He's going to be 3. And he's 3. They say that's worse than 2, so we'll see.
So you're preparing yourself by drinking the wine and laying in bed and eating ice cream.
Mhm.
Yeah. He can join you in those endeavors. Like, just don't give him the wine.
Maybe I don't want to share.
Yeah. Well,
let me be selfish.
that's true. Yep.
I don't want to share my good ice cream.
What's your good ice cream? Ice cream. This is This is an advice show, and so if you were going to give advice for ice cream, what would it be?
It's really hard to find. I've been to a couple stores lately to find Jenny's with an I, Jenni.
Oh, I don't know that ice cream.
Homegirl got some good ice cream. Like the one that is my favorite is like an almond brittle ice cream with Bella, and it is so good. And I've only found that ice cream in one store, and I went last week and I couldn't find it, so I had to settle for something else. And I don't really.
What's the store? Can I ask?
Sure. Whole Foods.
Oh, bougie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's Jenny's ice cream. So
okay. Yeah.
You know what? And I went to all the other bougie stores looking for it. I went to Met Market and to the Stadium Thriftways.
I was going to say Marlene's, but Marlene's isn't bougie. It's more granola.
Yeah, but, that's the store for you.
Hey, okay, whatever, Sage. Jesus.
I considered if I was going to have a girl naming my daughter Paisley. So you know what? You might be right. There might be I think after I took over as director of the CGE, something like the ancestors.
It gets into you. I'm telling you now. Yeah.
Came and watched over me, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. All right, Jenny's. I'll keep that in mind because I'm being alone. I'm gonna be alone for a couple weeks while my partner goes on a writing retreat. So yeah, maybe I'll just sit in bed and eat ice cream and drink wine too.
And I know how you feel about cookie dough, so you should get the Ben & Jerry's cookie dough that doesn't have eggs in it. So
yeah,
probably
I do like some cookie dough.
Yeah, it's probably better for your insides.
You're right. Okay.
So we would like to end our time with you all giving you advice. We are
we got things to say.
We got more opinions that we feel like you all should hear, and wisdoms and all the things. And so we feel like this is the best way to end our show, us telling you what to do.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah. So for our first piece of advice, what advice would you give people in managing COVID? How do you manage a global pandemic, Angie?
One of the things that I've been doing is I have a pod. So I think we might have talked about this before, but my household is just me and my son. And I don't want to just be here with a 2-year-old, and he doesn't want to just be here with me either. So I have had to figure out how to extend my household to be a pod or a group of people who I spend my time with. And so one of the ways that I think about the pandemic and how, I want to, wash my hands, wear my mask, and be safe is that I don't want to have a negative impact on my pod, because those are my people, the people I love, the people I want to be around as safely as possible. So I have my people. I know who my pod is. I make a responsible decision. I hope what are responsible decisions based on how my decision will impact my pod. That's how I've kind of navigated some of it.
Yeah, my advice is similar in terms of making decisions that are right for you and your pod and your family and loved ones, because there's no sort of solid 100% right good decision for everybody right now. And making good, healthy, respectable, or responsible decisions around wearing masks, washing hands, things like that. But like I said, I've traveled over the summer. I know you've traveled too, and those decisions were right for us, and they were right for my family. And people are going to have a critique to say about all kinds of things. I was talking to some folks with kids, and they're critiqued if they keep their kids in school. They're critiqued if they keep them out of daycare, this, that, and the other. people have to make decisions that's right for them, and just accept that and move on. But yeah, I keep thinking more and more about sort of people's mental health these days and how much it's being damaged by the need to be socially or physically distant. And you know, if you are okay with being outside 6 feet apart with a solid breeze, then by all means get out there. So yeah.
So what advice do you have for the folks who want to be anti-racist?
Oh my gosh. Oh, what do I have to say? My advice for folks who want to be anti-racist is, one, well, it is a perpetual and ceaseless doing, not a being. And just because you say you're anti-racist, that don't make it so. So it is a lot more than just saying it. It is doing it and reflecting on it and doing it again and knowing that you're implicated in the very thing that you're trying to critique and work against. Just accept it, move on, and keep moving on and keep working and keep doing. And I think some people, when you think of the system of white supremacy or patriarchy or ableism, feel as though that it needs a kind of massive sort of solution to address it. Small things matter. Small gestures matter. Sorry, a ton. And so thinking that you need to do something grandiose is part of working within the logic of white supremacy, and focusing on small gesture, I don't say small gestures, but like actions that have a meaningful material impact on people who are marginalized. There you go. That changes a life. That changes a person's world. So how can you have a material impact on someone who's being who is oppressed by racism? And how you answer that question, I think, really matters. Yeah, what about you? What's your advice for someone who wants to be anti-racist?
Similar, I guess that's why we have the show together, but because you said that is like a perpetual state of being, that means that for me, that means you will never be anti-racist. Like there is not an endpoint to this, because the system is the air we breathe, the water we swim, the buzz of the lights, the jello, all those things that we exist in it. And we are in so many ways unconscious about it. And so you can think you've gotten to an endpoint and you get that stamp of I'm an anti-racist, and I guarantee you are going to do something 30 seconds later that is steeped in white supremacy and racism. I guarantee you, 30 seconds. And that's a favor for you as far as time. So don't think of it as this identity that you can kind of just slip on and kind of and be done with it. It's constant work. It's constant consciousness, and it is like constantly trying to reframe your mind and your imagination to think differently about everything that we've been taught, and everything that we think is true, and everything that we think is our reality. And you can't unlearn that stuff in a lifetime. And so it sounds really like cynical, and like, well, why even try? You should try and do this work because of what you said, that these gestures, individual small gestures to systematic change, no matter how you do it, makes a difference and has an impact and lessens and mitigates harm to bodies. So the work is worthwhile, but know that it's work. It's constant work.
Talking to a faculty member about this the other day, and they were saying something about like how she's like, I just don't trust myself. Like, I don't trust that I'm doing what I think I'm doing. And she didn't say that in a way that was defeatist, but as a way to always kind of be on her toes. Though when she's teaching something that she believes is an inclusive practice, she doesn't always trust that it's doing what she thinks it's doing. And so she's hyper vigilant and reflective on what it is that she's doing, but it doesn't stop her. And I kind of like that idea of like, assume that you're always likely to do something racist or ableist or sexist. And if you assume that you're always kind of doing something messed up, then and you will be kinder to people. You'll be more conscious about how you're interacting with people, and be really open to critique. Because if you already think you're doing something racist, and you do, as you were saying, do something racist, and someone points it out to you, you're like, oh, damn it, then I'll do better next time. So I kind of like that idea of not trusting yourself and always assuming you're kind of doing something that's perpetuating a system to kind of stay on your toes.
Yep. And for folks who hear that and think, well, I don't want to see myself as a bad person, it's not about being a good or a bad person. Like, I actually don't have time for good people or good white people. Like, I don't have time for that. But it is like just being conscious that we are imperfect beings, and yep, we don't know what we're doing most of the time, and that, it's human to mess up.
Yep. So, yep. All right. Advice for getting through or engaging with our presidential election this November. What would you say to that, Angie?
My mother talks about this a lot. My mother is all about like politics and all that kind of thing.
She likes the MSNBC.
Loves the MSNBC. The MSNBCs. It's always on. My son calls it ABCs. Like, BB, you gonna watch ABC today? Yeah. Local elections matter, and who we pay attention to in our local governments makes so much difference. Like, I was looking at my voters book. It's so overwhelming and so much information, and half of these things I don't really know what they mean. Like the comptroller, like I get it, but I don't get it. And then it took me to like this episode of Family Guy that's really funny, because the one lady, her goal was to be the comptroller. So you gotta laugh about this shit too. And so I'm like, I don't know what these things mean. So like spending time and like really looking through the book and Googling things that I didn't know, and like being stuck sometimes and making the best decisions that I could with the information that I had, is just as important as thinking about who we're gonna vote for or should vote for in the presidential election. So paying attention to our local politics is something that I don't necessarily do a really good job at, but I'm trying to be better at.
No, you talk about material impact, man. Yowza. Yeah, totally. Let's see. My advice for engaging the presidential election or elections in general this fall is now is not the time for purity politics. And to be fair, there is never a purely unproblematic candidate. Doesn't exist. Does not exist. And so now is not the time for purity politics. I know Biden has problems, lots of problems. And if Angela Davis can vote for Biden, you can too. It is not the time it's just not the time. And I know people are going to disagree with that, and that's okay. And if you're not, just whatever, that's fine. That's okay. But now is not the time. It is not the time. Literally, people's lives are at stake.
Literally.
Yeah. Now's not the time for purity politics. And again, it's a fiction anyway. So, yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So what other advice we're going to give today?
So we're going to give some advice to these YBs who are coming to college.
Woo! Welcome, Lutz.
Come on, Lutz.
Yeah, come on.
2024, whatever that experience is going to be. What are you telling the children?
What am I telling the children?
And that is not a disparity in my culture. That is, hey, the children's. Y'all are the future. We'll teach you well and let you lead the way.
Let you lead the way. Yeah. We can show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Yep.
What I would say to those who are starting college this fall, it is going to be a humbling experience. It's going to be an uncomfortable experience. But it's also going to be a really exciting, transformative experience. And I got a little quote here I want to share with folks that I got from Ronna Kaufman, who is quoting someone else who I forgot to write down. So I'm just going to let y'all know that. But she was saying in a workshop that nervousness is education at work inside your person. And so being nervous is a way of sort of knowing that you're stretching yourself, you're learning, Yeah, I think that's what I would embrace the nervousness. It's normal. It is to be expected. And I also say that you can do this and that you belong. And even though there are structures in place to make you feel like maybe that's not the case, know it in yourself that you can do this, and you belong and you're going to do it. So, yeah.
Yep.
What you got? What's your advice?
This is for the kids of color, in particular, the Black kids. This is going to be the first year that I take on an advising load. So I will be the primary advisor to a group of incoming first-year Black students, and I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
So I want to tell UIBs that, like, imposter syndrome is real. People are going to tell you explicitly or implicitly that you don't belong at PLU or you don't belong in the academy. And the academy, actually, higher education was not built for people who look like us, for a lot of people, really. It's not. And to be in the academy is a transgressive act. And so I want to tell you all that you do belong there. You do belong to the academy. You matter. And it's really important to find your people, whoever they are, other Black people, other people of color, your white faculty, your white friends, your people at home. It's really important to find those people who are going to help you drown out the white noise of white supremacy and racism that tells you that you don't belong there, that you are not valuable and worthy of an education and worthy of a place, in particular at PLU. So find those folks who are going to drown out that white noise, because that white noise gets really loud, and it especially gets loud in some of your classes when you're going to be the only one. It's going to be really loud in some classes where you're reading text and it looks like you. There's no representation of you when all your faculty are white. Like, it's going to get so loud, that noise, that this isn't a place for you. And it is. The academy, if you want to be in the academy, it is a place for you. So find your folks who are going to help you realize that.
Awesome. Great. All right.
Yeah.
What about being an online student, Angie? What advice would you give to folks about that?
I don't know. None of us want to be online. It is not ideal. It is hard. We are all transitioning. We don't know what this stuff means. I would much rather be in my office with people coming in and out and the noise of learning and higher. Like, I want that too. And we're not going to get it.
You ain't going to get anywhere.
Nope. Not gonna get anywhere. This is not, you're just not going to get at PLU. You're not going to get it anywhere. So know that most of us, all of us, I'll say all of us, are doing the best that we can to create an experience for you that is going to be something that that is going to be a place where you are going to be able to learn and thrive. It's going to be hard and it's going to be messy, and we're all learning about how to transition, how to teach, how to engage, how to be in community and in the virtual world. Like, we have to figure this out, especially when we've had expectations or seen like what higher education, what college is supposed to do. It's supposed to be this thriving thing, the yard or the yard. Y'all know what the yards are?
Yeah. No, what are they called? There's like
the quad.
The quad. That's it. Yeah.
We call it the yard. The red. Yeah. It's supposed to be this bustling place where you walking with your backpack and you see your people and hey, and somebody's throwing a frisbee and somebody else is in a hammock and somebody's playing their guitar, playing John Major to you.
John Mayer. Your body is a wonderland, Angie.
Thank you. I've been told. Like, so we have these images of what we expect and what we want our college experiences to be, and some of those are false anyway, false narratives. And now we're in a place where we have to create a new narrative of what it is, a new reality. And we can do that together. And it's gonna be and feel different, and it's gonna be really frustrating, but we can do it. Like, we can create, there are multiple realities and multiple narratives. So we are now creating a counter narrative to what we've been taught is the college experience. So go with it, go into it, knowing that we really do have all of our best interests in mind.
I couldn't agree more. And like, it's different. Online is different.
Yep.
But as we know, different isn't necessarily bad or good. And those folks who get to define what's different have a lot to say about power. And so I think there's some really interesting questions to engage here about why is online seen as not as good as being face-to-face? How does that privilege the corporeal body, being present with other bodies? And so there's really good questions, I think, to ask there. And what does it say about the nature of relation and connection and mediation through an electronic format? So there's lots of really good, interesting questions to ask about why we think online is somehow subpar to a face-to-face experience, and to not discount it outright as that. There's some really good, interesting questions about accessibility that I think that we can ask about the privileging of face-to-face. And I, of course, mourn for being in a classroom. I love being in a classroom, but I am excited about thinking about the possibility of asking questions like those and other questions with my class this fall. And so again, embrace it as the reality that we're in, and engage in it, set a schedule, really sort of take advantage of it in the same way you would a face-to-face class, because you're going to miss out if you don't. There's some really amazing things that our faculty are working on to help keep you thinking and engaged, and to cultivate your intellect in the midst of a crisis. People have taught in much more harrowing experiences, and they have learned in much more harrowing experiences and contexts. So yeah, we can do this. And it may very well be pretty darn good. So yeah. All right. What's your advice, Angie, for how to thrive in the midst of this?
Okay, so another one of my reality TV things. Season 2 of Project Runway.
Oh, the original?
Yeah, the original. When Tim Gunn was being a mentor. Actually, it was a runway, and Michael Kors said to somebody, "Lighten up is just fashion." And then somebody, Tim Rice made a song about it. Lighten it up is just fashion. I laugh at a lot of things. I giggle and I laugh and I cry and get upset about things, but I find a lot of things to laugh about in my day.
Yep.
And so I think one of the best things that we have is that for me anyway, is that I can find time and space and people to laugh with.
Yep.
And to giggle and to laugh at some of the serious things too, but also to laugh at that I'm still, thinking about Project Runway season 2. And I know the exact episode this was on, but I don't have to go through all that. So what about you?
My advice is fairly similar. Laugh. My God. And or help somebody. Because there are people, and some of you may be suffering, maybe some of those folks who are suffering, but people are suffering and they need help. So help some folks. Figure out how to help folks, and you can do it in a way that is safe. And yeah, but laugh and help people. That is the only way we are going to get through this. And this is the opportunity to really shake some shit up. So seize it as an opportunity if you're in the headspace to do it. But man, laugh. Just life's too short. So yeah. All right, we are near the end of our final show. This is our last bit of honorable, dishonorable mentions. Let's start with dishonorable so that we can end on a high note. Mm-hmm. So who is your dishonorable mention today, Angie?
People who think that their priorities are my priorities. Somebody I'm thinking about in particular who don't watch the show, but if she did, she probably still wouldn't know this was about her, because she doesn't recognize that her priority isn't mine. And she hasn't picked up the fact that when I write per my last email, that means didn't you read it the first time? So I am sick of people who think that because they have a deadline that they put off for months and months and months, that deadline and that urgency is now mine, and that me and my staff and other people have to just adjust the way that we do things because you messed up. It doesn't work that way. Or if you would like it to be my priority, there's a different way to kind of enter into the conversation other than just telling me that it now is my priority. So get your shit together with a camera. Get your shit together. This is none of my concern.
Oh, that was delightful. Thank you. My dishonorable mention is white people who ask, when can we talk about white supremacy? Do you need an invitation? Have at it. Have at it. What do you need? Yeah. It's not, can we? Because that's a different context. There may be places where it's really risky to talk about white supremacy for particular people, but these are white people in the academy, all kinds of resources asking when can we talk about white supremacy? Whenever you open your damn mouth, that's when we can talk about white supremacy. Please talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Ain't no invitation coming. And you don't need people to structure a conversation for you. You can do that. You got a whole lot of other white people around you. Gather them together. Talk about it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna ask that question. All right, what about honorable? Who do you think you showing some love today?
So for the past, 15 weeks that we've been doing this, I always try to wear a different pair of earrings. And the majority of the earrings that I've been wearing are from one of my best friends, Michelle Bellinger, who is a Black female business owner of Embellished Designs. And she is amazing and she is dope and she creates beautiful, beautiful, dope, big, very big earrings. She ain't doing the small earrings. If you wearing studs and things, she's not for you, and that's okay. But if you want to flex,
snap.
Oh my gosh. White supremacy. If you want to flex some big old earrings and support Black businesses, Embellished Design. She's super dope. So shout out to you, Michelle. I hope that I have showcased your work to our international audience.
Very nice. Nice. My final honorable mention shout out is people who take a break. I appreciate you and your modeling, and I need to do better, but I know some folks who are taking breaks this week, and props to you. And they are resting, and they are really resting. Like, it is like they are out away from everything, and I just appreciate them for taking care of themselves, modeling for others that you can rest in the midst of the world burning. So, yep.
You should take a break tomorrow starting at 12. It's already blocked off on your calendar. So
it is. Yeah. I will likely be doing that. Yeah. Yeah.
Likely. Just do it.
Sure. I might be prepping for someone's dissertation celebration. So, which is a different kind of work. So, yeah.
Yeah. I have to still do that outline. So Thomas, 2 names. You've been a great producer. We love spending time with you. We'll miss you. Thanks for sticking around with us and with the show, even though you are no longer employed at POU. He's contracted. But we appreciate you sticking with us. You're dope. You're great. We'll miss you. Yeah, this is it.
This is it. It's the end. It's the end.
I mean, we'll see y'all
until we've got to the end of the road. That's it. That's all you get. That's bad. I need to drink more before I sing. So. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for listening to us. I don't know why you all do, but
it was fun. It was fun. Thank you for being a great what were we, co-host or partner?
Aw, thanks.
Or, I don't know, whatever we want to call ourselves.
Yep. Thanks for making me think and be and do better. So yeah,
do better. All right, y'all. We out.
Bye. Sorry, I wanted to do that.